Next debate, which is in the program product and portfolio management track. So the debate is between Shyamshree and Chandra. The topic selected for this debate is product management is baseless without program and portfolio management.
Now, as topic says, product management is baseless without program and portfolio management. So this topic seems to be the very important one that need to be touched upon to ensure portfolio of the products. Basically, the portfolio of products cannot be managed in a better way if it is not managed together. So basically, I'm speaking for all in particular line, which effectively means portfolio management and product portfolio management takes a better way of handling the products compared to handling it separately. So I want to speak to that. So basically, this is my introduction. So I'm in industry for almost 8 years now, so working in the TS sector. Initially I started with production and later moved on to service industry. And predominantly I work in e-governance projects, right from Ministry of IT, Government of India to the last assignment in June 2013, heading IMS services for India, Middle East, and Africa. So now I'm doing, practicing by my own in the areas of consulting ITS practices. So all that I'm doing is not created anything till now, but the organization name what I mentioned, Director Services, is what I have registered for, but not started any services still. But again, I'm working on a concept called ITSMS.in. So the concept is basically to look upon how do we bring in our IT services in one group, a single channel approach. So I think the topic is also going along with that. So by definition, this is the definition of product. Okay, this by definition, this is what product management means. Basically, product management focuses on focusing on individual products and managing the products end to end. Looking at a product life cycle right from the inception stage to until the product is retired. So focus entirely goes into the product, and then we'll speak about product management alone. So product management from the day it is inception, the team is formed to ensure the product is managed into and in terms of looking at what are the features to be added, what are the features, what are the warranties to be looked upon. So that's about product management. When it comes to program management, as definition says, it's similar projects handled together to have better benefit by the definition. Now, portfolio management is in terms of having all products grouped together and getting to the market. So just about the topic. So we have
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Shyamshree, Nandi. I head the Enterprise Information Management Business Community in Styria, India. I started my career with TCS and I've been in several delivery and center of excellence type roles. So I've seen product management quite closely and also understood a bit about portfolio management. So today's topic is basically to assess whether product management, whether a product really needs the whole umbrella of the portfolio management, or is product management itself self-sufficient without the feather of the portfolio management. So let's look at how the portfolio's management typically works. So I think the first point I would like to draw your attention to is that 3 out of 4 products fail anyway. And statistically, it has been proven that that most of these products were actually created in a portfolio management scenario, where things like repeatability and others were concerned. So how did this still fail is a question that we need to ask ourselves. And I'm sure most of you would agree with me when we say that technology has moved on, and technology has become very pervasive and also very fast changing and evolutionary in nature. So does portfolio management really allow you the alleyway to practice with new innovations? Maybe that's a question we got to ask. What about the global competition strengthening and the traditional mechanism of portfolio management and assessing an apple for an apple basis just the funds it's consuming or the risk factor that it has got? Is it enough to build the differentiators? Maybe that's something we got to ask. And lastly, I think let's look at some statistics published by the CIO survey. The whole product management lifecycle itself has speeded up by as much as 400%. If you look at a typical ERP style product development, then the cycle times have reduced dramatically. So how did that happen? How did those cycle times come down? And can we leverage them to the extent of making the product better, for example? So those are some points I will try to touch upon. Let's also look at some industry numbers. A whopping 24% agree that there is an inadequate market analysis. What's the basis of portfolio management? The portfolio management or the portfolio manager is supposed to assess whether the product in question is suitable for the market, it's suitable for the customer segment, is it suitable looking at my risk appetite as an organization. So that's what is core of the portfolio management and the benefit realization plan, of course. So if 24% agree that there is an inadequate market analysis, where is portfolio management?
So these are the points which I was just captured in terms of challenging what exactly is there when I look up and I'm just looking at the topic what we have. So customer requirement versus product requirements. So that is one area where why should fulfill customer needs. Taking this product, the project itself as a product. So I cannot make a product for my passion or whatever I need to make it think as it is good. It's a customer perception and usage is a customer, which has to be understood properly with creating the product. That needs another layer like portfolio management, which actually understands it better to introduce the product to the market. That is one part of it. Second is product features versus benefit. So benefit, when I say the features, whatever is being provided to the product, does it really make sense to the user? So I'm speaking about the part where utility and warranty, what has to come in. How the particular product has been used in the customer place and how it benefits customer. That is the area. Third area of challenge is building right product versus building product right. So right product in the sense, meeting the need of the customer, meeting the need of the market. Product right in the sense, however excellence you achieve the product, does it really make sense to the user? Does it really make sense to the customer? So focusing there. Innovative product versus need for a product. However innovative I am, however excellent product I come up with, if it is of no use, I don't think that needs to exist in a particular market or particular market segment wherever it is available. So good product versus good business model. So this takes a typical straight away link to the topic what we're discussing, like good product versus good business model. However good the product I build, if I don't know how to go to the market, if I don't know how to create this awareness in the market, if I don't know what I'm going to create for myself in terms of revenue or ROI, it's of no use. So now, utility what I touched about, product life cycles, product portfolio management. Now, as presentation there, any product you take, the mentioning of the product should have all the features and the product should be handled end-to-end right from the inception stage to the end of the product. So that needs a focus definitely on the product, but when it comes to the managing the product throughout the life cycle, why should I improve this product? Portfolio answers that. Why should I ensure I have to put on this product to improve? There are a lot of products, as she mentioned, out of 4 products, 3 are a failure, 1 is a success. Why? It is not because product is a failure. Maybe one of the possibilities product is not defined properly or introduced properly. The major part is acceptance of the customer. If that is not there, if business is not properly understood, I would not have a reason to keep that product into my particular portfolio and go to the market. So waste of energy and time. So looking at these parameters, top challenge is improving product and portfolio. It says inability to properly value product opportunities, which effectively sees if there is no need for a product now, it may be there will be need in future. We don't know, but there is no need now. it's not time to go to market and invest more on the product. More they may invest on researching on the product, but not introducing the product to the market. That captures 38%. Decision processes not based on objective information. So if there is no objective on whatever we're doing, forget about product. Any decision we're making, anything we're doing, there is no objective or focus. It doesn't go in a direction what is needed. So poorly defined portfolio decision criteria. So effectively means, when I say poorly defined portfolio decision criteria in the sense, the portfolio management should have that, and when it does not have, it does not take focus on what is needed. Unwillingness to stop project underway, then inability to align resources to appropriate projects. Now when you look at a project which is focused on developing a product, managing the product end to end, basically an organization will have a pool of resources which have been shared across various products. So this challenge remains, neither of the criteria, but portfolio management at a higher level would give a better hold in terms of managing the resource properly, because portfolio management prioritize what product I need now. So product management totally focuses on the specific product, and that becomes important for the product management team in terms of bringing that product to place. That is the challenge mainly. So a successful product portfolio management initiative should target improvements to the following processes. What are those? Standard and maximize product portfolio, which means not to have any products. What are the products you have? That should make sense to me and to my business. If I have a product that doesn't make my business, there is no sense. Resource and enable pipeline. So now look, this portfolio management also looks at the market dynamics, the demand in the market, the way the trend in the market, the way the dynamics are happening around the technology, around the users are profiling and all these things. So that will help in terms of what kind of resources. When forecasting, it helps in forecasting better way. I can innovate or create such products and then put more investment into that area. So execute and manage projects. So since you are looking at a bigger perspective, managing project will become easier and focus on specific area will become easier. So determine in terms of, should I have this product in my portfolio? Should I retain this or should I retire this? So this is a strategic decision analysis and a program and portfolio management level. Reason being, it has to have a viability in terms of ROI and VOI. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to the organization. It's evident from all this. Like standardize portfolio process and expand the use to a larger percentage of those involved in the product innovation process. Coordinate product portfolio management across enterprise, which effectively means it again points out the same point which I was mentioning. Product is of no use, however the best it is, if you don't have proper portfolio management and go to the market strategy. That's all right.
I think I'll take a step back when concluding on this topic. So, product management can be very diverse in different types of scenarios. The key thing here is that when you go through the formal portfolio management route, some of the times you end up spending a lot more time in finding out the risk, whether the risk factor of that product or it's the value that is being derived from it or the funding that is being spent on it, rather than on the innovative aspects of the product itself. Moreover, I think from what Chandra said, the user experience or the acceptability of the product in the market or the go-to-market strategy has nothing to do with portfolio management itself. So it's a different team altogether. So there will be separate GTM strategies with the marketing team, with the partner ecosystem, with the collaborators, etc. So that's a totally different thing. So I feel that in today's world where there is an economic downturn, where the amount of the amount of revenue that we earn from a product is most important. Therefore, governance should always be lightweight. And therefore, what we should look at is the objectivity of the assessments. So, does the product continue to cater to the market needs? Is it catering to the right customer segment? Those are more pertinent to address. And I don't think that portfolio management can necessarily address those aspects. More often than not, the people on the steering committee sometimes do not have an inkling on what the product is trying to achieve, because most of the products today's world maybe blue ocean type products, where the competition itself isn't there. Where will you measure it against? So there are several, the products which are going to be launched, and there is no market for them. How do you assess them? How do you ensure that they are free from risk? Say for example, Google glasses. Is there a market for Google glasses? No. We don't even know how many people are going to buy Google glasses. Maybe none. So does that mean that we should not invest on such products? Definitely not. So the portfolio management is a good idea in some of the cases, but generally speaking, looking at today's technology and the space at which it is evolving, it is far more important to look at the product management itself and to build a certain degree of innovation in the product teams. And by the way, I would really like to emphasize one fact, that the product management teams are themselves quite experts from a business perspective, because they are the ones who originally had the germ of that idea. Often the portfolio management is involved much down the line. So the product innovation has started, and then once it is formalized, then the organization typically builds the portfolio management team. So that makes them far more closer to the business segment and to the customer segment rather than the portfolio managers themselves. Another survey was conducted of about 110 CIOs who represented on the steering committee, and 98 of them said they weren't sure what value they were adding to the projects. So my conclusion is that for product management, there is no necessity to always tie it under the portfolio management umbrella.
My question to Shyamshree. Shyamshree, what I understand is that tomorrow if you were to become the CEO of a big organization, the first thing you would do, and this is coming to the personal opinions right now. The first thing you would do is get rid of these program and portfolio management guys. Yeah, what do you feel? I mean, what's your personal opinion? Keeping the debate aside, I'm going to rate you on this. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you feel really that if the product management guys were put in charge and they were told, I don't want you tell them, I don't want you guys wasting any time on program management and portfolio management, just stick to product management tasks. I believe those other things are not important, just concentrate on this. Would you do this if you were to become the CEO of an organization tomorrow?
Okay.
And then this answer is outside the debate. I want your personal opinion.
Okay. My personal opinion is that portfolio management is very good for certain scenarios where the type of product you are referring to is a very long haul and a long running type of product, where the dynamics of the market are far too often for you to constantly see whether you are putting your money in the right basket and assess whether you are headed towards the right direction. But for short haul investments or for smaller products, I think it is quite unnecessary, because there are several, if you look at the absolute data, for example, which is just one of the examples I am citing, they came out with lots of innovating offerings in the analytics space, one of them being fraud analytics with social media data. So for those type of products, you don't really need to add the whole fluff of the governance and having the portfolio management. It's just about a business case. And if that business case, if you have faith in that business case, you could still go with it. However, if you are looking at something much bigger, say if you are looking at a supply chain type ERP, a new cloud-based solution which has plenty of elements to it, then I agree with you that in those scenarios we would need product managers, as well as they should be complemented with portfolio managers, so that they don't lose sight of how much investment is going and what value it is going to bring.
Add something?
No, I think it's a complementing point. One thing I just want to say, the view of saying the portfolio management as an individual, group of individual function exists, that is not the point here. The product is big or small. There is a layer which manages the business, which manages the portfolio of my products. So it may be a single individual who is doing both based on the capability. You actually mentioned the product manager is actually a better person to handle the portfolio. He knows the business better. That's the point there. So basically the need of handling it is there rather than having a function. I'm not emphasizing on the point of function of a portfolio management being there. All that required is the focus on that area is essentially needed with an individual plus or a group of 50 plus at the various varying size, whatever.
Actually, Chandra, just a small addition to it. See, the product management itself, it need not fit into the portfolio umbrella at all. Because if the business case is very pertinent and if the product does not have any repeatability within the organization, then it go on.
What is the objective?
The objective of portfolio management. What is the objective of portfolio management? Better ROI, right? At the bottom, benefit realization plan. So, benefit realization plan as an independent body, the portfolio management will say, okay, I can leverage this XYZ amount of work done in Windows XP into Windows Vista. That is an ROI. But if you have a totally different product, if you have a totally new segment which you are targeting, you may not be looking at those aspects at all. And in that case, it's just a governance.
That is the point there. So now you took an example of Vista. So when I say Vista, there is product management team which is focused on Vista as a product. Now Vista failed. Now what should I do with that resources? What should I do that product management function? What do I do?
So you are talking about a project closure activity,
No,
okay?
you're saying, what should I do about the product?
No, I think,
product.
see actually the portfolio management is when the things are more dynamic, when you are in flight with the product development.
No.
Once the product is dead, what good is it? I mean, I don't think there is any good. Unless
So where will the
your
product
next
management
is-
team goes?
See, that is deployment, that is a resourcing.
So who has to decide that?
So you mean to say
There's a
that
strategic decision made for it. That's what I mean. The strategic decision has to happen for the benefit of the organization.
the
It's not
strategic
for the
decision,
benefit of the product.
the strategic decision has to be before you launch the product. Once the product is dead, the game is finished.
Even there also your strategy. Strategy of portfolio is not just related to the product. It's end to end. It goes from inception of the product to retire the product. And retire the product is not out. It is there with you.
Retire the
It's
product is
it's not in the
launch of
market.
the product. If the product did not launch,
Portfolio doesn't stand only with introduction. Portfolio will live while product exists or service exists and it ends along with the product. That product goes off till portfolio exists.
exactly. So why do you
So
worry about the resources?
retirement
They are
is also
there. They are still working on the
No,
same
no.
product.
Retirement is also a strategic decision. It's not a fashion of product that will give you this. Oh, yes sir.
Chandra, I've got a question for you. Do you think, or in fact it's for both of you, how much of this is applicable when you have got a diverse set of products or a suite of products which is diverse? These are just a point product. It is earning necessary. And the realization to be but it's very focused. There's a Google search. The Google search. These are just a diverse set of products. So where what is your personal view on the program of portfolio management? These two things. So do you think program and portfolio management is very important on a plain vanilla Google search? It is earning millions for Google. Or do you think a program and portfolio management is required for an item the products for each team? Like open view, something service support.
Yeah. So
Both are earning same or similar.
You want to go?
Yeah. To answer this question, the need of anything, in general I'm taking the apart from this one. So what I'm trying to say is, basically any organization to introduce a product or retire a product, keep a product, or a service, whatever, so it's a strategization for organization to exist, not for product. Any organization, whether it's Google, whether it's HP, whether it's Microsoft, whoever it is, they have their product lines basically for them to exist. They have the product lines because to create their brand value. It is not that because I as an organization like a portfolio management, product management, that is not the thought. Basically requirement is the organization to exist and why should I exist? I am going to create this for the market and my user recognizes me for these reasons. Now if you look at the Toyota as an organization, if you take, they retire a product when it is at peak. It is organization strategy, nothing to do with the portfolio management or product management. Both of them will facilitate that organization and align to that organization need. Some product if you take, it leaves even though it is not performing in the market. So it depends on the organization's need when portfolio management or product management play their role in that organization. That is most important.
So which will be important in these two scenarios?
So I think
I mean,
both.
I'm not.
I think both. It has to go hand in hand. It has to balance to benefit the organization. I'm not saying the product management is not at all required. I'm saying it is also needed. But it is needed as needed by organization. Anything is needed like portfolio or product, both needed as organization decides. At what level? What should the effort should go into this area? Organization decides. Because it's an investment in that particular area. What is that ROI I'm getting out of the investment?
So in your view, what's the kind of effort that goes into product management of Google search vis-a-vis product management of let's say human view and other monitoring?
I think product management in both areas takes more effort there in terms of managing the product, but still we cannot roll out the portfolio management there. Reason being, it's an interface and a layer. It takes based on what is the need of the market, what is the need of the organization.
I think your question is very pertinent in the sense that portfolio management has to be in a specific context. So say for example you are referring to a diverse portfolio, say within the HP scheme of things. At that point in time, it's very important for the organization to find out how I can leverage my past initiatives in some shape and form, be it by way of competency, be it by way of the product itself. So in those scenarios, it's very important to have the portfolio management. But if you take, say, for example, Google search in isolation, say, whenever this product was built and it was an independent thing within the organization where no competition existed, at that time, adding portfolio management is something which is like an unnecessary governance. So in fact, at least about 22% people think that they would, from the product management background, that they would have been much better without the governance of a separate portfolio management. All said and done, I'm not saying that eliminate all types of governance, because the product management itself is not going to be devoid of governance itself. So the product management team itself will do some of the business cases. It will be, engaging with, things like the betas which keep on happening. So my answer to your question will be that portfolio management can often be unnecessary, particularly when you are thinking of the ROI and you have if you have just a few products that you want to focus on. But if you have a very diverse portfolio, of course, it brings a lot of synergy across your product set. You don't have to struggle with the integration issues, which is typical to merger and acquisition scenario. Say, for example, let's look at SAP. So until the time business objects, I think fairly recently, business objects would not even talk to SAP BW. So that's the type of scenario where you do need portfolio management to ensure that you are giving a sellable proposition to the customer and you are not selling a BO that does not work with your own systems. So I think it's very contextual.
I do have few queries. First of all, I would like to ask one question. Market analysis and the marketing of the product is whose responsibility? This is the first question. Based on that, I do have few other queries. The question is market analysis and marketing of a product is whose responsibility? Is it product management or is it portfolio management? Whose responsibility is it?
So for me to answer, both of them will not do that. Definitely there will market analysis team which will do it. And these particular teams will take in input. So work as an enabler and receive the information.
So based on
It again depends on organization also.
So you are taking input from the market analysis and marketing. So as a product, okay, now the question is, Nano as a product is a failure or it's the portfolio which is a failure for Nano? Because this question arises because I think, it's my point of view, as a product, Nano getting or catching fire here and there, it is catching fire, that is a product failure. But there are some other car manufacturing companies are there whose cars are catching fire. Yes. And secondly, it is a market analysis failure and it is a marketing failure. What I think is, Ratan Tata really thought that a car cannot be parked in a say 2x4 space or 2x6 space. That analysis, I believe, has not been done. A car requires a bigger space to be parked, so everyone cannot purchase it because it can carry 4 persons and whatever he is saying, people are carrying 4 people in a scooter, that's why I have thought of manufacturing a car. That is number one. And marketing failure, I think all of us will agree with me that Nano is not being purchased by most of us because it is a 1.25 lakh car. I think people are not purchasing Nano because of this is the most specific reason, that is the cheapest car, we should not buy it. So as based on that, is it a product failure, is it a portfolio failure, or what exactly it is?
Right. So I think I'll just begin with this picture. If you can see it. So product management has a very wide spectrum. It starts with the inception, the design and the implementation through to the stage of go-to-market. So in answer to your first question, for market analysis, for a GTM, the product management teams must be involved. Because if I say I made a swing, the marketing team must know I made a swing, or they will assume that I made the sofa with 2 ropes attached to it. So that's the first thing. Second thing is portfolio management.
So you are agreeing that it is product management team who is responsible for marketing and analyzing whether this product will be accepted in the market or not.
See, I'm not talking.
Is it product management team's responsibility or not?
See, there is. If I may just
make a point. See, what product management does there is understand the need of the product, understand what is the feature, what should I create for this product, and what is needed. Safety feature for the product as a product.
Okay, so you mean to say it is a product management failure?
No, let me complete. So product as a product has to design and create it as part of product management. Now your question is, I am not going to purchase this product, it's cheapest available. It is a perception. This perception definitely Tata understands. That's why the segment of market for Tata Nano is not you or me. It is the people who can afford it, who can afford 2-wheeler, let them go with the car. That is the idea behind that particular thing. It is a strategy. They did not sell it for you. They did not bring it for us. It is for the people who can afford those things which they cannot afford the other cars. That is the whole idea.
I want to say something.
That is the question. Why it is a failure then?
Yes.
Why Nano is a failure then?
Okay, are you sure first of all?
What is the meaning by failure? When did it fail?
Because there is a, in yesterday's Times of India, there is an article about it. There is a 71% decline in Tata Nano sale compared to the same quarter last year. It is only 12,300 some odd numbers are there. That many number of cars that is sold in this particular quarter.
What is the reason?
No, that is what I'm asking you.
What is the reason? Just look at it is a reduction in terms of nano cells. What is the reason?
Is it a product failure or is it a product?
Wait, before we go there.
If I may say something.
Before we go there, what is the reason for the reduction? Is that mentioned in the Times?
No, it was not.
That's where the point is. Reduction may have many reasons. It is not just product management, portfolio management. It may be many reasons that has to be analyzed before conclude.
That is the question. Whose responsibility is it? Is it product management's responsibility?
Kingfisher closed. So it's not about situation. So it's about the fluctuation in the market as well, and some reasons on the product itself, some reasons on the strategy itself, some reasons maybe the market itself. That is has to be analyzed before you conclude. You cannot give an answer over reflectly that this is where the responsibility.
Okay, so
I think that was answered. The second one, I know it's a debate, but still there were points that you were agreeing. One was the failure of Vista. So us emphasis on product management. What differently would you have done if you want to put Vista on the right track? And same question to Chandra. If you were to have portfolio management involved, what would you do to ensure Vista would have been put in the right track?
Right. So, Vista, I think also had lots of other problems in terms of having the right code base and having something which provides backward compatibility and things like that. So, ideally, the portfolio management was just there, but it could not spot out these problems early. Because the whole point of a portfolio management would also be to take a call on if something is not viable, but that did not happen. But if you look at the ground, there are some blogs, if you go looking for it, there are some blogs where there was a certain Mr. Srivastava who used to head that Vista team, if you like. And those people, they said that they knew from day one that Vista was going to have problems. So what I'm trying to say is, in spite of having all the governance in place, as you can imagine, there were close to 500 or more people working. So in spite of having all those governance in place, Microsoft could still not perceive this happening, and because of which they lost a lot of credibility in the market.
If you were the business partner, if you were at the time for the next one group, what would you do to ensure that this will take you right?
Right. So I think what we would have done is the focus should be more from a product management perspective, whether Vista itself was right for its timing, whether Vista, whatever functionalities were promised in Vista, whether justice was done to those functionalities in the first place. So I think it is like, inside-out view. The inside-out view should have been taken by being consulted with the product management teams, which did not happen. And this is categorically something that Steve Ballmer accepted, that if he had known the convictions of the product management team, they would have done much better with Vista. That's what Steve Ballmer said. So the point I'm trying to make is that when you look at portfolio management, you look at a wider perspective, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that you have understood the struggles or the challenges that exist within that product itself. So my short answer to your question would have been that the product itself should have been assessed and the product management team's voices should have been heard, which were not.
So, to throw a light on the point, I would ask the question, why this time? Vista is not performing the way it is needed. Objective was different, it did not see the result what is required. So I don't want this. But I cannot just shut down, telling that I've invested so much, so I will shut down without an RM viewer. But again, it becomes a strategic decision in terms of why should I shut down instead of incurring further losses. Now, when you introduce a product, any product or a service or anything into the market, it starts from the stage where you understand the requirement first. Based on the requirement, you have the package for it. Design package, you should design the product accordingly, and then while building the product, each level is tested, which comes as part of your product development itself. So when you do that, it seconds the requirement what is being understood in the initial stage and signed off. But what it took in terms of budget, what is being analyzed in the initial stage, if it takes more, that itself is an indicator to say this product is not going in the right direction, what is needed. There itself could have been taken. If I understand by the way Vista is developed, a lot of effort would have been taken there. So,
Yeah. Last question.
Would you agree that market leaders are being driven by product management teams and competitors are being driven by portfolio management teams?
That's an interesting thought. Yes, so if you look at Amazon, then a lot of focus goes into product management teams particularly. The portfolio management comes as a second sometimes. So what happens is things are incepted with the product management team, and then once that business case has been thoroughly established, certain degree of development has already progressed, then portfolio management is in place to ensure that you have a continuum in the enterprise, and you don't make if you are known to make cars, you don't end up building a rocket because that may not sell, as you don't have the brand for a rocket. So the point is that if I just answer your question this way, that product management is more of a bottoms-up approach, because you know what market you are catering to, what requirements you are catering to, and that's where it originally begins. From a competitor perspective, they are more focused on how they can diversify their portfolio and kill the competition in the space that you are operating in. So I would say you're right actually. The competitors would in those cases start working on portfolio management. And I think in short, there's this blue ocean and red ocean, which we must always think of. If the competition does not exist, what's the point in portfolio management?
Can you repeat that question again?
Would you agree that market leaders are driven by product management teams, whereas competitors are driven by portfolio management teams?
Now, both again in a balanced spectrum now. So, as you were mentioning, if the competition doesn't exist, I don't need to handle that competition. Then definitely there will be a future competition. But now, you as an organization introducing a specific product, definitely there will be duplication in the market which has to be avoided. More than competition, it's about like Chinese product is coming from Samsung. There is no, even if we say in that particular sector, smartphones, you have a genuine competition, but still there are players who are creating a similar product. Actually, not a competition, but killing your market, which needs a specific portfolio management role in place. Similarly, product management also go in hand with the portfolio management.
Okay, I think we'll close this at this point. If there are any further questions, you can have it in the lunch session. We're getting ready for lunch. So, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a lunch break now, and then we'll have a last debate, and between that there will be a panel discussion. So, thanks.